Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil here to start our very own movie tag video. I've been seeing a lot of these tag videos, the horror tag videos going around. I know Queenie Todd was cycling a werewolf tag, if I'm not mistaken. I know Lee was cycling a Killer Flicks tag, which I actually do have my answers for. I'm just waiting for Fuego to get his answers so we can do that tag together. I know there's a vampire tag going around, so I figured I'd add to the mix with a tag about my favorite horror subgenre, which is creature movies. So this is going to be a creature movie tag. Now, again, I know there was a vampire tag and a werewolf tag. I don't necessarily consider those in the creature movie category anyway. They're their own separate thing. So I am saying, let's leave out the vampires, let's leave out, or variations on vampires, let's leave out the werewolves. This is just pure creature movies. Now, that can include alien creatures. I will make that apparent. That caveat does count. Alien creatures, you know, anything coming from space, because there's quite a bit of creatures that come from space. You got Cloverfield, you've got Alien, you've got Predator, you've got all these different things. So you can't take space out of the equation. Space creatures do count, just not werewolves and just not vampires. That's the only caveat here. So I have 10 questions that I want to know from you guys about your creature movie obsessions and or perhaps lack thereof. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about creature movies. So the very first one I'm going to start with is the most obvious. What is your favorite creature movie? Mine is one that is probably a lot of people's, or at least a lot of people's with any taste. No, mine is John Carpenter's The Thing. The 80s version of The Thing, which was in itself a remake, which is why I tend to defend remakes a lot of time. Yeah, there's a lot of bad remakes, but I don't hate the idea of remakes, not specifically because, but largely because my favorite horror movie of all time is John Carpenter's The Thing, and it is a remake, so there you go. But the creature in The Thing is unparalleled, was done, practically. It was fantastic. I mean, if you've seen The Thing, you know it's a space creature, again, a space creature, that has landed in Antarctica and sort of invades a research facility that Kurt Russell and the Quaker Oats guy and a bunch of different people are working at this facility when this creature starts running loose. But the nice thing is that the creature mimics whatever form it takes. But when it's in between these times, you really see the creature of it all. And it's just some of the most amazing creature effects ever put to a horror film. If you haven't seen it, absolutely make time to watch John Carpenter's The Thing. I actually am a big fan. Not a big fan. I'm actually a fan of the 2000s version of The Thing, which ended up being a prequel. I actually really liked it because of the prequel aspects of it, and I'm a big fan of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who played Ramona Flowers in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. So, yes, it was a lot of digital creature effects, but it explained a lot of what I saw in my favorite horror movie of all time, so it stands to reason that I'd appreciate it. Again, it's a remake / prequel, so I don't hate those as much as everyone else does. So that's my answer to number one. Best creature movie of all time is The Thing. The second question is another fairly simple one. What creature is your favorite design that you've ever seen? I think mine is going to probably be a lot of people's favorite as well, so stretch a little bit and think outside the bun, as Taco Bell would say. Oh, marketing works way too well. What I would say is H.R. Giger's Alien design. The original design for Ridley Scott's Alien, done by H.R. Giger. The long, conical sort of shape. It's absolutely iconic at this point. They've done numerous movies. And not only that, but it's so inhuman. Like, it really helped, even though the alien was a dude in a suit, it made it so inhuman looking, that big elongated skull. And then again, in Predator 2, just seeing the skull of an alien in the trophy case was enough to like make people jump out of their seats. So obviously Giger's design has gone well and above just that first movie into the the pantheon of pop culture. So absolutely Giger's alien design is, in my opinion, the best creature design ever. Next up I'm gonna say is just a simple A or B question. Do you like humanoid creatures or non-humanoid creatures? I'm a big fan of the non-humanoid creatures, but like the humanoid creatures like in The Descent or, you know, other movies like that where it's sort of mutated humans, not zombies, because zombies are their own thing, zombies don't count, but, you know, the creatures in the Descent movies were like kind of humanoid and stuff, and there have been humanoid creatures. I have never really found them particularly scary. I'm a big non-humanoid, especially larger non-humanoid creatures where they can eat you, you know, that's what gets me really terrified. So humanoid or non-humanoid, I'm going non-humanoid every time. Next up, I want to know, number 4 is, what is your favorite creature kill? It doesn't have to be from your favorite creature movie. What is your favorite kill by a creature in a film? And mine is going to reach back to like my 15-year-old self. Whenever The Relic came out, the original The Relic, which was based on the book by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child, Relic, which I actually did read at the time, so I was really excited about the movie. When it finally came out and you saw like this giant creature with like mandibles and a big tail, and it was huge and hulking, like, I really dug it. Yes, it was early, you know, it was like mid-90s CG when it was just sort of emerging, so it doesn't look great, but there was one particular kill where the creature is chasing after someone, and being chased by something is like my number one fear. Like all those moments in every creature movie, or every movie frankly, where something is going after someone and they're climbing a ladder and something is like swiping just underneath their feet, that always gets me. And so when the relic creature is chasing after one of the military guys that tries to jump into the museum during the film, the guy is running at the camera, the creature is running behind him, it catches him and lifts him up, and then the mandibles close around his head and literally decapitate him, pull his head from his body in full view. The camera never cuts away. It's a really disturbing thought, a really disturbing creature, and I believe it was the first time I was shown a decapitation without it being cut away from. A creature literally pulls a guy's head off. So it was the time of Mortal Kombat. I was really into it. It's part of why I fell in love with creature movies. So the beheading in The Relic, although The Relic does have a really awesome other kill that has been mimicked plenty of times, that involves a guy climbing away and then the friends pull him up. And they end up only pulling up half of him. I think that's been done in shark movies from here until the end of time at this point. So, moving on. So the next question is, what is a lesser known creature movie that you would recommend to people? Mine is one that I always sort of default to because it's one of the best ones I've seen, and that is Outlander. This is a 2008 creature movie where Jim Caviezel plays a space bounty hunter that has captured this creature, and the ship crash lands in the first part of the movie, and it crashes on Earth during Viking times. And so basically when he, you know, gets out of the wreck, he realizes that the creature has escaped, and he goes to the nearest village and tries to sort of acclimate while he figures out how to, he sets off a distress signal so he can get picked up eventually by his cohorts in space. But in the meantime, he realizes the creature has escaped and is starting to terrorize a nearby Viking settlement. So he goes and he joins the settlement and essentially helps them to try and fight off this creature. and it is just an amazing movie. I can't believe more people don't know about it. I really, really enjoy the hell out of it. It's one of my absolute top 5 creature movies. And I don't want to say too much about it, but trust me, seek it out. It's called Outlander. It stars the guy that played Jesus in Passion of the Christ and is also in Person of Interest, that TV show that was going for a while. Again, that might still be going too, I don't know. But nonetheless, it is a super, super good creature movie, so check it out. Next up, I'm going to ask, what is your first experience with a creature movie that you can remember? Mine is going to be Jurassic Park. I am going to consider Jurassic Park a creature movie. I saw it when I was 12. I don't remember if I'd seen other creature movies beforehand. I guess if you consider Jaws, a creature movie, that might count, but I still think that's a shark movie, different genre. So my first one is going to be Jurassic Park, and yes, well, no, I still don't think there's enough dinosaur movies to consider dinosaur movies a subgenre, so I will consider dinosaur movies a subgenre, and Jurassic Park was my first experience with it. It was also my first experience with the digital surround sound. The DTS sound came out with Jurassic Park. Also, it was the Samuel L. Jackson appearing, and Sam Neill, who I love, and Ian Malcolm, obviously, Jeff Goldblum popping onto the scene in a big bad way, even though he'd done stuff before. It was just a fantastic creature movie. Obviously, the creatures are what stood out. The practical effects, the digital effects, all of it looked so, so good and still hold up to this day. I mean, what movies can say that their effects hold up to this day as well as Jurassic Park's do? I mean, it's just fantastic. The raptors, the T-Rex, the Dilophosaurus, all of that stuff is just so amazing, and it is the definition of why you should be terrified of large things that want to eat you, especially dinosaurs. So, loved Jurassic Park, first experience with creature movies. What's yours? So the next question is going to be, what is your favorite Old Yeller moment? And that is essentially going to be your favorite creature death. I'm going to take it a bit further and make it an actual Old Yeller moment that you kind of feel sorry for the creature. I think there might be more of those out there, but I love that kind of stuff. I don't think it's done enough, so much so that it might have something like that in one of my scripts. But anyway, the Old Yeller moment, you can either use best creature's demise or a creature's demise that actually made you sad. And so I'm going to say one that I'll get made fun of for, but keep in mind, I was 17 at the time this came out, and I was sort of just, emotionally all over the place. Hormones were everywhere, and I love creature movies so much, and I am a big animal fan, so seeing anything that's just doing what it does die makes me sad, kind of, sometimes. So the one I'm going with is 1998's Godzilla. Such a widely loathed movie, and that I might actually cover on Shut Up, I Like It, which is my other thing I'm going to be starting very soon, where I can talk about just regular pop culture stuff. But yeah, that movie, the end of it, when Godzilla is trying to cross the bridge, and he gets tangled up in all the wires.
Tally 1 on the bridge.
The planes come in and just start missiling the shit out of him. And just destroy him while he's just sitting there whimpering. And Matthew Broderick even goes up and, sees him dying. And you see the light go out of his eyes. all this stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, like I just saw it as like a big giant dog, and it really got to me for some reason, man. My 17-year-old self was so sad for Godzilla 1998. So yeah, that's mine. Make fun of me all you want, but I was 17 and it got to me. Next question is going to be, what is the most tense creature moment that you can think of? There have been a lot. Keep in mind, there's a lot of creatures in Resident Evil. There's a lot of creatures in different kinds of movies. I am going to take one that just came out in the theater that has launched itself to one of my top 3 creature movies of all time, A Quiet Place. I cannot remember feeling more tense in any movie ever, let alone a creature movie. So the fact that A Quiet Place had me on the edge of my seat, you know, gripping the armrests, white-knuckling that ride the whole time, there's just nothing better. I don't remember anything affecting me that way, or as much that way as A Quiet Place did. So definitely the most tense creature moment I've ever seen is in A Quiet Place. And I would say if I had to pick a particular moment, which is what I'm asking for, I would say the moment when the mom has to retrieve the baby from the bassinet in the flooded basement, and the creature rises up, literally as she's grabbing the baby, rises up right in front of them. That is so intense. I love that scene so freaking much. So absolutely A Quiet Place has the most tense creature moment for me. What's yours? So next up I'm going to ask, which is number 9, what is the worst creature you've ever seen put to film? And I'm sure there are some other examples I can come up with, but the first one that I came up with, the worst creature movie I've ever seen, is Willow Creek. It is directed by Bobcat Goldthwait. It is a found footage movie directed by him. And here's the thing, I actually came to expect quite a bit from him because he is a very talented director. God Bless America is an amazing movie. World's Greatest Dad with Robin Williams is an amazingly sad, heartbreaking, yet disturbing movie. God Bless America, super disturbing. He is a talented director. So why did he do a Bigfoot movie? And then why was Bigfoot never in it? To my recollection, I only saw it once and I was so angry I never wanted to watch it again. And I just re-looked at the Wikipedia and all it ever said was that you heard sounds. You heard sounds, but you never saw anything. And I had just watched the Frankenstein theory where you at least saw a little bit of Frankenstein at the end. Or, you know, you watch all these creature found footage movies where you at least catch glimpses of the creature along the way. This one literally showed you, to my recollection, not one glimpse of Bigfoot. It is the worst Bigfoot movie I've ever seen because there is literally no Bigfoot in it. And there have been some bad Bigfoot movies. But Willow Creek easily takes the cake. Now, I don't know. Maybe if I go back and watch it from a filmmaking perspective, like maybe he's lampooning found footage movies or something, but when I watched it, I did not get that impression. I got the impression it was like a solid, serious attempt at doing a found footage Bigfoot movie, and then he just never, ever copped to showing Bigfoot in any way, shape, or form. Not an arm, not a leg, not a hand, not a foot. You'd think, right? Like, it was ridiculous. Sure, there was probably prints at some point, but you never saw any actual creature. Screw you. I was going to flip off the camera, but family friendly. Finally, I'm going to go with best modern creature. Question number 10 is the best modern creature design. I know there's a lot of really good stuff from the 80s and 70s and things like that, the practical effects, but I want to know stuff that has really impressed since, say, 2000, okay? The modern creature stuff that looks really, really good. I am going to actually say, and I don't know, I still think it looks good, even though it's 10 years later at this point, but I'm going to go back to Outlander. The creature design in that movie, it is so cool, because it's a big, giant, not like T-Rex sized, but definitely larger than lion sized quadrupedal creature that has rending claws, that runs on all fours, that is bioluminescent. Like, here's the thing. There's a scene in which the settlement is preparing for an attack because it gets attacked at night. And they're looking at the top of the wall, looking out into the forest. And they launch an arrow that is on fire out to the forest. And it lands right in front of where they think they see it. And then you just, the arrow goes out. And then you see the creature like just light up. Its appendages light up and are lined in like red and green and like, you know, neon coloring that like shows its outline. And then it shows it's got this tail, this tendril-like tail with multiple sort of, it's like a cat of nine tails. Its one tail has like 5 ends to it, and all 5 ends can light up the very tips. So it's got like the anglerfish thing at the bottom of the ocean, where the anglerfish has the light that it dangles in order to attract things, and then it just goes hum, because that's how it works. This thing has the same sort of thing. It's a big brute force creature. It is freaking phenomenal. I absolutely love the creature in Outlander. You guys need to watch this movie. Check it out. So that's going to do it, guys, for the creature movie tag. That is 10 creature-centric questions, and I want to know your answers. I love creature movies. Like I said, they're my favorite subgenre. So let's spread the wealth, spread the love of the creature subgenre, and let's find out some answers. I'm dying to know some lesser-known creature movies to find out if there are any that I've missed. I actually just found out about Ragnarok this past year, even though that was a few years old. A giant dragon movie, a serpent kind of thing. That was really cool. Like, I was pleasantly surprised by it. So, yeah, go ahead and do this. Now, I'm not going to tag Jaime and Fuego because he's part of the channel, but I fully expect him to do this as a separate Fuego's creature tag. And then I think producer Dave has answers for his own tag as well. So I'm going to tag 5 people. I'm going to first tag Gory and Danny over at the Horror Addicts. I would really love to know your creature movies. I'm going to tag Amanda from Channel Sundown. Do the creature tag for me. Answer these 10 questions if you can. I'm going to tag Lee from Drum Dums. I would like to know his creature movies, although I know he's sort of exposing himself to a lot of horror he's never seen, so perhaps this is a way for him to expose himself to some new horror as well. I would also like to tag Emma from Spooky Astronauts. She has a lot of great horror opinions, and I know she's seen some creature movies, so I would love to know her thoughts on this. And then finally, I'm going to tag Dino and Ted from the Late Late Horror Show. I would really like to know their opinions on creature movies. They tend to like some older stuff too, but I'm going to ask them to stretch a little bit and maybe think of some newer stuff on 1 or 2 of these questions. But I would love to know their answers as well. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you feel like doing this tag and I didn't tag you, please feel free to do so. And then I will add it to the playlist on the horror show here. But until next time, I've been Cecil Laird. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of my answers. And until next time, remember, stay scared.